I've been going through a bit of a Chaplin boot camp with violin lessons and roller skating lessons and tightrope lessons, and every time I think I'm overwhelmed, I watch another Chaplin movie, and then I go, well, he did it. He did all of that. He did all of that and more. He was starring, writing, directing, producing, and writing the music for all of his films. If he can pull that off, then it's my job to up the game and try and deliver the best performance of that man that I can.
I'm playing Hedda Hopper, who is the gossip columnist who helped to expose Charlie Chaplin as not only a womanizer, but she worked diligently in getting him exposed as a communist and eventually getting him exiled from the United States. What's so interesting about what we're presenting here is that his life was rich with comedy and celebration and joy, but it was also fraught. He had a lot of disappointments and a lot of setbacks along with his triumphs, and Hedda kind of represents a little bit of the struggle that he went through here in the United States.
It's really about a man who had the love of the world, but was always searching for a love of his own. He was loved by, the entire world, but he was kind of lonely inside. He was always searching, he was abandoned by his mother, who went insane when he was a young boy. He was always trying to fill that void.
I play Hannah Chaplin, who is Charlie's mother and a big influence in his life from little on all the way up until he meets his last wife. I exist a lot in memory. That every time he sort of hits a little hiccup in his life, sort of mom kind of sneaks in, and you see me a lot at the very beginning, and I kind of weave all the way through, and then pretty much up until the point that he meets his wife. It's like you sort of resolve the mother issues when you meet the one that you're going to stay with for the rest of your life.
Una was his great love. Charlie was kind of known as a womanizer, and he had 3 marriages before her, and so we touch on those marriages as well, the other loves in his life. But Una and him were married for 30 plus years. They had 8 kids together. They just were soulmates.
He went through a lot. By the time he was 9, he was homeless and alone, living on the streets of London, and within the next 2 decades had become the most famous man in the world. And then by the time he was in his late 50s, he was exiled, kicked out of America for 2 decades, and then welcomed back with open arms to receive the Honorary Academy Award. I mean, it is wild.
I love this show because there's so much history in it. How Hollywood became Hollywood and how stars were created is all about, it's all in the show.
One of the things I love about this show is that it has great dynamics. It really does. The show starts as this beautiful kind of chocolate boxy, perfect world, and then dissolves into this very dark, troubled place.
He's not just the guy with the hat and the cane and the mustache. So many people are saying, how are you making a musical about a silent film character? The little tramp communicated silently. Charlie himself had plenty to say.